The Tyger by William Blake is a terrible poem written by a terrible poet. Blake is probably only remembered because he had his own print shop. I doubt if anyone else would go through the trouble of publishing his childish rhymes. Unfortunately, scholars feel compelled to keep including him in British anthologies, so his obvious, oversimplified Christian themes are carried over generation after generation. Blake's Tyger poem is probably his most often recited, so I'll dissect it and leave it for dead. First off, tigers don't live in forests. We call them jungles. There's a difference. They don't burn. They are orange, white, and black, and of a normal temperature. And most eyes can frame their symmetry. Eye does not even rhyme with symmetry, so we can't even enjoy the first stanza without being stumped. The poem questions the origin of the greater cat. Blake doesn't know if it comes from the water or the sky, but seems to believe that the tiger's inventor has wings and pyromaniac tendencies. Blake believes that the tiger was forged more like a horseshoe in a smithy than evolved like a biological living creature. He writes that the tiger heart is made of sinew, but if he had bothered to look at a dictionary, he could have learned that sinew is connecting tissue, not muscle. And what does the blacksmith's feet have to do with forging? Reaching for rhyme, are we? The fifth stanza is possibly the most troublesome, if any such claim can be made about a poem so rife with drivel. God the Creator is suddenly chucking lightning bolts and sending down rain, and Blake is wondering if God smiled when he looked down and saw the tiger, and did God the Creator also create the lamb? If you believe that God made all things, then yes, he made the tiger and the lamb. If you are pondering the origin of all things, then you have the sophisticated brain function of a 4-year-old asking the most obvious questions. If you are questioning the purpose of the tiger because he scares you, then you need to grow up. Blake's poetry is written for the reading level of elementary school-age children and needs to be limited to such, and not given 8 pages of a high school textbook. Oh, and by the way, your engravings suck too.